Hey, so we are down at the Decipher event in Dubai with me, Joe Mango, and Piergiacomo.
There you go.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I said your name right.
Yes, that's quite a challenge, I gotta say.
But you can call him PG.
PG, yes,
PG as well. Awesome. So you work with Algorand.
Yes.
And first off, for those that don't know, do you want to just tell us a bit about what Algorand is?
Absolutely. Hey everyone, PG, head of gaming at the Algorand Foundation. In a nutshell, Algorand is what in the crypto world we refer as a layer 1 blockchain. So it's a blockchain protocol on top of which different decentralized applications are built and run. Algorand is what we can call a third generation blockchain. So if you think of Bitcoin as a first generation, Ethereum as a second generation, Algorand is the third generation in the sense that it's like way more scalable, faster and cheaper than Ethereum. Again, as I said, I work at the Algorand Foundation. So Algorand Foundation is a separate entity. We're actually a non-profit. And pretty much our goal is to grow the ecosystem around Algorand. So think of Algorand, actually probably the best example is like Algorand is an app store. And our goal as the Algorand Foundation is to bring a bunch of new applications onto the App Store. But not only that, also, there's different ways to do that. Through community, through education, through hackathons, through investments. We announced Algo Ventures yesterday. So different ways. Myself, I lead the gaming vertical. So all the gaming applications building on Algorand, that's my job. So I gotta say
that was my next question.
Pretty a lot of fun actually.
Yeah. So like a little bit more in depth. Like, what is your role as the head of gaming?
So again, pretty much is first support existing builders within the Algorand ecosystem. So these are people that have been building on Algorand since pretty much day one. There's like the die-hard aficionados. Then, of course, bring in new projects, reaching out and talking to gaming studios, like gaming studios in the Web2 world that maybe are looking to get into the Web3 world. So they're like in the process of choosing a chain. So that's another part of my job. And then, of course, foster the community, do things like that, like these events like these. Bring in more people and eventually, I'm a big believer that gaming will lead the next wave of adoption and innovation in crypto overall. A blockchain like Algorand with its unique characteristics in terms of scalability, how cheap it is just like a no-brainer for anybody that is building a game and wants to be a Web3 game.
Nice, I like it. Now, this isn't supposed to be a negative thing, all right? I'm a big gamer, and I feel like there's quite a stigma in gaming for blockchain games. A lot of people who are die-hard gamers and will play all the games that are coming out aren't really looking at blockchain games as a real thing for them to game on, mainly because, they're not necessarily fun games or big games. And then on the other side of it as well, there's, you hear a lot of stories about scams and hacks and all of this. So in your opinion, like, how do you think we're gonna change the mind of gamers to start adopting blockchain games?
So they're not wrong, actually. We can pretty much say that the majority of gamers hate crypto, like straight up. Rightfully so, I gotta say, because like if we look at the first wave of crypto games, the majority of them were like either like Ponzi's in the sense of like pumping and dumping a token, selling it very cheap to like early stage investors that are actually not your user base, that then dumped on the user base, which are the gamers and the players that got burnt. Or another bad paradigm in my mind was gatekeeping. So you saw like a bunch of games coming out where like you had to buy like a very expensive NFT that would give you access like later on, who knows when, because guess what, games take a long time to build.
Was, I guess, a big problem with Axie Infinity, right? For the people that wanted to start playing it later on, they would be spending like thousands of dollars to just play the game, which is crazy.
That's not the point of gaming. Like gaming is something that is fun, is something that like people do to, again, escape reality, I guess, or like decompress. And also like if you look at like the average spending in gaming, like like if you play Call of Duty, that's like 99.99, maybe the top pack with like all the different experiences, and maybe then if you wanna like buy skins and all of that, like you pay more, but like you're playing with like 100 million people, and like you're actually having fun, right? That's like the average amount of money that people are willing to spend, right? For a product that is already out and it's awesome, not something that it's a promise in the future.
It's like people are interested in spending money when they're having fun.
Yes.
And to make their experience even more fun, they will spend more money.
Yes.
Which is what like, Fortnite did really well and stuff like that. And obviously now Warzone, they've all got battle passes and everything's doing that now. So I mean, essentially what we're saying is the blockchain companies that want to make games need to just make really fun games and focus on that. And then as a secondary, try and make money from it.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of benefits that crypto can bring to the gaming space. I mean, ownership of assets is huge. Just think again, like you were saying, like I was playing FIFA before with one of my colleagues, and like if you take FIFA, there's Ultimate Team, right? Where like people spend a lot of money to make their team. And then guess what? The new FIFA comes out, and like all the money that you spent in the previous one is just like not there anymore. So this, but this is gonna take a long time. And actually, before on the gaming panel, we were talking about it, and we kind of all agreed that like the first breakthrough is gonna come from an indie studio in terms of like a big crypto game that is gonna be played by a lot of people. And that will set the path for like the big publishers to say, okay, this is actually something we should look into, because guess what? Call of Duty makes a lot of money. FIFA makes a lot of money. All these like big titles make billions of dollars. So like, why would they switch to something that is like unclear and like, as you said, has a bad reputation, unfortunately?
So you don't think that a AAA developer is going to go, hey, let's be the first to do this? You think they're going to wait until some indie studio profits crazy off it before they even try and do it?
I think so, yes. Also, like, just not just because I think of, but like it's like Blizzard, for example, came out with like some NFT stuff and like got a lot of backlash from their community.
I see. So they want to wait for more people to adopt it.
Yeah, but it's also like it's literally the jargon. Like literally saying NFTs to gamers is just like a big no-no, because again they associate it to like scams and like just flipping things for profit. And gamers don't want to. It's not about that. It's about having fun. So that layer, the blockchain layer, will need it to be abstracted in a sense that like gamers will not even feel that it's there, but they can at the same time benefit from all the core properties that a blockchain can offer to applications.
Makes sense. Now, for those that don't know, what are the benefits of playing blockchain games? Obviously, we said ownership of assets, which would be great. So if you buy a skin, you can always sell that skin.
Yes.
Is there any other big benefits that you see in blockchain gaming?
I think that's the core benefit. There we can argue about like rewards. Rewards can definitely be a big benefit. Unfortunately, personally, I think we still have like a lot of work to do. A lot of like the in-game economy or like tokenomics that were like pushed out in the first wave were just like not working, pretty broken. Like,
has anyone actually, got the tokenomics down yet, do you think, in a blockchain game? Or is it something that still takes time?
Like we gotta see. Some games on Algorand, like for example, like Algorand is its own like smaller universe that is growing a lot with respect to other chains. But like one advice that I give to games building on Algorand is, for example, wait until you have a bunch of core users to drop a token, right? Because if you release a token before releasing a product, then that token can be, especially if it's a cryptocurrency in the sense that like it's traded, then you expose yourself to like a bunch of external dynamics that are not really tied into the game itself, right? So one thing, for example, that we do as Algorand Foundation is we put out like some incentives as in the form of algo and USDC algo, because these are definitely a way for games to acquire new players. But guess what? Algo is already a token with a lot of utility, a lot of liquidity. It's in circulation, and people will want to play a game to earn that token as like a complementary reward.
So all the games on your platform, are they all developed by you and on your platform?
Nope. That's the beauty of this whole industry. So it's different teams. And again, like Algorand itself, it's an open source blockchain protocol, so like everybody can just like build on it.
Okay.
So all these different teams and gaming studios, they're just like building their game and then attaching the blockchain component using Algorand. So it's our job to also work with them.
So they'll put their game exclusively on your platform using your token, though.
They will exclusively, yes, the ones that are like natively built on Algorand. There are some other games that want to go multi-chain, and that's a whole separate argument where like they want to mint assets on different chains. For me, that's like very tricky and like not really user-friendly. It's like, who cares about like minting assets on different chains? Like people just want to play the game. Some games on Algorand have their own token, so you can create a token as an ASA, Algorand standard asset. Is kind of like the equivalent of ERC20 on Ethereum, so you can have your own token.
But then everyone that is playing the games on your platform will earn your token by playing the games?
It depends. Like as Algorand Foundation, we partner with some game to give out some incentives, but that's like, or I mean, if the core team has some algos that they want to give away, but it's not that they mint algos out of thin air. They mint their own token and then reward players with their own token. But again, like how strong is that token? You want to have a bunch of players before releasing a token, and then going back to what we were saying before.
So I've seen some things recently where people are starting to, obviously a DAO is a pretty big thing. Do you think, blockchains in general or crypto exchanges, like after what happened with FTX, or even just, gaming platforms that are, blockchain based, do you think a DAO is the way forward to try and manage how everything's working and fairly and transparent? Or do you think that's a bad thing?
No, it's not a bad thing. DAOs are we still need to like understand them and properly do them. DAOs can be tricky. DAOs can be multi-sig wallets with like few signers. It's literally the same thing as FTX, because if the signers decide to pull the plug, you go out. And by the way, there are some layer 2 solutions that are like that. So just beware out there, like do your research. Also the whole argument around governance, it's a little tricky to me. Governance is actually a very, very hard human problem, right? So everybody that, one of the, very usual examples in the first wave of crypto games were like, releasing 2 or 3 tokens. One was like infinite in-game supply, not a cryptocurrency. The other one was like a cryptocurrency, and the other one was like a governance token. It's like, why the hell do you need 3 tokens? Also like, if you give only one utility to a token, which is governance, that is not a strong token, because like you're assuming that like people first will want to govern your game, and it might be, but like it also might not be. So like, if that's not the case, what do? You end up with a token that is pretty much worthless. So
and I guess
it's just
you
a
can
way
then
to raise more capital, I guess.
But then I guess you can get people who have a lot of money who will buy a lot of that token, so then they can kind of also govern the decisions on that.
Or you can have
which is scary when you think about it.
Very scary. Also, what happened with Mango DAO that was hacked by $100 million, and literally the hacker put out a proposal to just like pay back some bad debt of like people using Mango, and then the other half of the money just like give it to himself, and then he proceeded to vote on his own proposal with the token that he stole. So like, is that governance? And then like we entered the different realms of like smart contract risks and all of that stuff. But yeah, again, like DAOs can work. You can vote with NFTs, for example. It doesn't have to be like one fungible token, one vote, because then you open up to whale dynamics. It can be like NFTs, like you have like the OG pass, then you can vote on certain things. You have the later ones, then you can vote on other things. Again, governance is complex, and also you have to really understand what are you governing, because maybe you don't really need to govern it at the end of the day. So I would advise, game developers to really think hard on this, because it's a very important thing, and it can definitely hijack your project if done not right.
Makes sense. I think the whole, do your research thing on blockchain, crypto, NFTs, anything you're doing is just a thing that you just really have to instill into people. Do your research. And the thing is it's actually a very complicated subject.
Yep.
And doing a research doesn't mean doing a couple Google searches.
Nope.
It means spending 6 months, a year, learning everything about the blockchain.
Yes.
Not just the one blockchain, but everything that's going on in blockchain. And then starting to make, because there's so many investments that have just gone like kaput.
Yeah,
from so
and
many
like
things that are happening even now.
Even
week.
like the thought leaders or the self-proclaimed experts or the big money, like they made a lot of bad calls. And it's not like we have data that shows it. It's not just
it's still like an early thing.
Yeah, it's still like an early thing, but like some things there's no way you see. Some other things, if you didn't see it, then you should not be managing that type of money, in my opinion, or having that type of hype or whatever it is. Again. We're building infrastructure here, so like it's a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen after like 3, 4, 5 cycles. It will happen in the decades to come, and it's like, again, it's a process. So like
just waiting for that one person to make that amazing one game that somehow works.
Yes.
And then everyone will kind of adopt that.
Yes.
And use it for all of their things.
Game developers told me this, like literally, like game developers that are skeptical about blockchain. They told me like the time I see like a big crypto game that gets a lot of adoption, then I'll consider building on a blockchain. As for now, I'm happy how I am, and it's fair. Like totally. It also boils down to education. At the end of the day, education is key in everything.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really appreciate it. We're going to go check out more of what Decipher have to offer. But
there's a lot of good people, a lot of energy and vibe. There's the gaming lounge. It's a little bit hidden, but it's right next to the bowl, which is one of the smaller rooms.
Yeah, I'll come check it out.
So you can go check out some of the games that are currently live on Algorand and play them. Meet some of the founders, and
awesome.
it's a good event.
PG, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks.